Well, hello neighbors, John the Whisky Neighbor here, and today I want to talk to you about another one from John Glaser and Compass Box. This is Peat Monster. Alright, well, thanks for joining me after the break. As I said in the intro, this is another expression from John Glaser. This one is, and I'll put the specific description down in the bottom, but it is a blend of a number of Islay whiskies and some peated Highland Scotch that they finish in their, what do they say, heavily active French barrels, something like that. I know they make their own French oak toasted barrels, and they do talk in various articles about how active those are. So they get a certain percentage from, you know, Lafroig and Ardmore and whatnot, and then they also put some of that Highland peated Scotch in their own barrels. Then they take the whole blend and we'll put it in barrels. Now which ones they do I don't know, but they do talk about a significant time of marrying their blend in oak. This is a peated malt Scotch whiskey. So malt meaning, of course, this is all single malts that they have picked up and put into this blend and married in casks. So there's no grain whiskey in here. It's still all barley. It is a Scotch. It's, of course, all Scotland. And, you know, you look at the color of this type of expression, and it's really kind of a light straw. And this is a natural color. And there's no sherry finish that I know of in any of the casking types, which is also why, you know, the color is that light kind of straw color. It's bottled at 46%. It's not chill filtered. So it has a wonderful nose. As my wife said, this is how, you know, being in the Rockies should smell. And I was saying, well, I think people would say it's, you know, to be on the ocean or have that salt spray experience. And while that might be true, I'm definitely a prairie guy, and we are landlocked here in a way. And our rugged experience, our back to nature, would be like up here in the mountains. So here we are in the Rockies, and the smoke rolls off this one. You know, when you spend some time in the nose, though, if you move off the smoke, and the smoke is quite strong, smoke, a little edge of peat, it's sweet, but it's not sweet like a fruit sweet. It's sweet like honey and cereal sweetness. You know, if you've ever chewed a grain a long time or whatnot, and some of the sugars come out of that dough or that grain. So it's got some malt sweetness, some honey, and a lovely smoke. Smoke is definitely the key note in the nose. Let's give it a taste, Sláinte. This is a big, bold Scotch. Lots of flavor. The peat will go the whole range. A little bit of maritime, a little bit of creosote and that kind of iodine, but not that much. But there's some there. But then it'll lengthen into that mossy, grassy peat. Just a really full experience. The sweetness here, if I had to do a fruit, it would be a crisp, sharp apple, like a green apple if you're biting that. I think you'd get some of those fruits, but it stays pretty close to the nose in terms of honey, malt, and then the smoke changes to that peat, a little bit of ashy note to it. So after you've had that really enveloping, inviting, smoky and sweet nose, the palate is quite peaty. If you're not into peated Scotch, I would definitely not reach for this until later in your journey. If you've only really had the Highland or the sherry finished Scotches, this one will be a little bit too meaty, a little bit chewy, but it's quite nice. Flavors are wonderful. If I were to be critical, it's a little tough in my environment right now because it's pretty cold, and flavors tend to contract when you're out in the cold. I would say that usually peat at this level finishes for a long time. You know, if you've had a Lafroig quarter cask, like you're talking to someone and half an hour later, like, I think I had a drink a half an hour ago. It just lasts that long. This will have some of those echoes, some of that strength, but the finish is not as long as I expected. So sweet, full, peaty, but not as woody or maybe ashy. I'm trying to think of those things, those tannins that last longer into the finish. But this is a really nice Scotch, and I just really love what Compass Box and John Glaser as the leader there does with their unchill filtered, uncolored, and I'll post the specifics at the bottom in written, but you can go to their website and you can find out the history of how they came up with this blend, their percentages, the casking. He just really believes in giving us the end person, the consumer, just as much information as we can. Well, guys, this is a beautiful place to be up here in the Rockies near Chateau Lake Louise. And I want to thank my wife for running the film here for me. I know her arms are falling off, but thanks for joining me. Oh, star value for me, if you love peat, and this can be a good value. Like, I think we picked it up for around $55, somewhere in that neighborhood. This is a great experience for that price. So it sits at probably about a 4.5 stars for me. A little more finish, a little more meat in it. It would easily be a 5-star, but I love it and would gladly buy it again. So thanks for joining me, you guys. You guys have a great evening and drink responsibly. Take care.